Welcome back to the channel. Lauren is sleeping. I'm not trying to be too loud, but in this video we're going to break down my race schedule for the fall, what I'm doing to get better. Without further ado, let's get into it. But first, let's go to the track. Quick check-in, track work this morning. We had another baseline test. So this test today was 400 meter all out, and brother, I did not have the juice. 67 seconds. That is not that much faster than what I would do a 400 meter one-to-one test. So legs were definitely very tired and fatigued from Monday and Tuesday, and just feeling it today. When I got done with that, I ran straight into 5 sets of 200 meter pretty much sprints with 3 minutes rest between sets, and those were between 32 and 33 seconds, all 5 of them. So not too bad, but definitely still tired legs. Working through that, you know how it goes. Home, ate some breakfast, 4D chamber call, did some work, ate some lunch, did some more work, and now we're on our way to Performance HQ to hit session number 2 of the day. So let's do it, get after it. What's up? Just got wrapped up with that workout. I am tired. My legs are fried. I looked at myself in the mirror when I got done, and I look fried, and not in the bad way, if you know what I mean, or good, however you want to look at it. Yeah, I'm tired. So I talked about it earlier. Races, there we go, boom. This is where my brain is. Okay, races this fall. I'm gonna talk to you pretty quick because I don't want my camera to overheat. This fall, upcoming HYROX season, we just started our off season, but it's good to know what is, like if you just watched my most recent YouTube video, if you break down how to approach a race, you gotta know what are your races and then work backwards in building towards it. So far for just HYROX races this fall, I've got DC Pro Solo, which will be early September. It's about 15-ish weeks away right now, something like that. Pro Doubles with my man Lucas in Boston, which will be about end of October-ish. Sign up for Anaheim, which those tickets will come on sale here in a few weeks, so I should be able to get that. But the goal is to do Pro Solo there, unless I am approached by someone who wants to do Pro Doubles. I think this year I love doing races with with friends and stuff, but this year for sure I'm definitely gonna try to be strategic about my races. Like Lucas, the goal is for us, I don't know what Lucas's intentions are, but I would love to get a podium in that race. I would love to qualify for Worlds with Lucas in Boston. And if him or somebody else that I know how they train and all the things, if they want to do it in Anaheim, I'd be potentially open to that too. But that's the goal right now. 3 HYROX races scheduled. So September in DC, October in Boston, and then December in Anaheim. Obviously, we don't know the race calendar for spring of next year yet. I mean, World Championships is literally going on this week, so they won't release that for a while. But I'm hoping to mix in maybe like a little half marathon between now and DC, or maybe sometime between DC and Boston, something like that. So yeah, I just wanted to tell you the race schedule, and then I also wanted to talk about what are we going to specifically be working on to get better. So camera, don't overheat on me. I'm going to put it back out there, but there's the race schedule. Boom, 2 pro solos, 1 pro double so far. Get after it. And we're back with another episode of Unfiltered Wellness. So this is going to be a little bit of a different episode. Basically, this is my check-in call with Austin. Austin does my nutrition and training. I think a lot of people have heard us talk about it on the podcast and how we distinguish the two. And then this is also going to be a YouTube video. So for my YouTube, so if you're watching my YouTube video, you get to get a little bit of insight about how we have these conversations. It won't be terribly long. We just need to go over a couple of housekeeping items. So I'm just going to jump straight into it. So, I mean, I'm just going to, Austin, it's, what are we, like 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks removed from my last HYROX race, my pro solo.
I think this is right at coming to the end of 3, yeah.
Yeah, this is the 3rd week today. Yeah, you're right. So I've had a lot of time to reflect, and right now, as of this recording, the World Champs is going on in Stockholm, Sweden. All the pro men just went. Ryan Douglas just looks like he's going to take the top spot overall with like a 55 something or something like that, something crazy. Yeah. But that's kind of where I wanted to start it, is like with my goals end in mind, right? Austin, like we set a goal for me to do sub 60 in New York City. Hindsight, looking back, would I have tried to go sub 60 in NYC? I would say probably not. Knowing what I know now, I probably would have likely targeted like the race the week before that, Ottawa in like Canada indoors, or maybe would have tried to target potentially, I don't know. I don't know. It just, hindsight 2020, it definitely was tough to do, but it was a good character builder. I learned something missing a lap, like, having a mental lapse. Like I
Easy
guess
way
that's
to
a
run
good,
faster. That's the easiest way to get a better time, is just don't run a lap.
you just don't run exactly. Then you'll incur a 7-minute penalty, and it looks like I would have been on track for a like a 102 high, 103 flat. Like I
I was saying
probably
I'm
would have.
203. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would have PR'd, which would have been good because
At a hard course at that, which was really good.
the course is about a half a mile longer than normal. So you think about that, and it was outdoors and it was hot. And at the end of the day, like I mean, straight up awesome. Like my fitness is like right there, like knocking on the next step of where like my milestones are. So I'm closer to my next milestone, but like the goals that I have for this season, number one is sub 60. I think I've already, like, you and I know that. Number two is I want to qualify for world champs in my age group. So that would mean I have to race really, really well. Pretty much in every solo race that I have, I need to do well. Now, with that being said, because my first race is going to be in DC in September, it'll be really hard to qualify there because that'll be everybody's first race of the season too. So the way the roll downs work is pretty much everybody's starting over on that stuff, and everybody's going to, they only award so many spots, and then they only do so many roll downs after that. So it's not like, hey, you're top 10 here, that means you get to go. Like, no, they're going to probably take 1 or 2 from each age group and move on, so on and so forth. So it's looking like I really want the A race to be Anaheim pro solo. Like I want to qualify in Anaheim, and that would put me at two solos in the fall, and then a doubles with Lucas in Boston in October, which Lucas and I also want to qualify there. So those are like the goals. We both want to qualify for worlds between Boston and Anaheim. And then depending on what happens with the solo in Anaheim, if I do qualify, if I don't, then that'll help me determine what my race schedule will look like in the spring. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm spot on with that. That makes a lot of sense.
So the next that's kind of the goals. Now, I think you and I have like talked about this several times. I think my big thing is, number one, I was looking at my race stats. Okay, my first race I ever did was open doubles with our guy Isaiah.
average per kilometer pace on those runs was a 509. 509. And then my first solo I did by myself was like it was like a 450 something. It was still high. A little bit more
And that was
training under my belt.
open
And that
solo.
was exactly. If you get rid of my my dumb run mistake lap in NYC, I was running 345 Ks in New
Golly.
York City. That's outdoors. That's 18. That's like 20 months later of after my first HYROX. So like there's been a lot of ground made up there, but this is kind of like a two, like 1A and 1B. 1A, I need to be, I need to make sure that I maintain that running capability. How do we do that? Don't know yet. Do we need to lose weight? Don't know. Do I need a power weight to weight ratio? Don't know. But the other thing is also, you and I have talked about this on other podcasts with other people, but like I guess, muscular endurance of this portion is, I don't know if I feel like my running out of gas at the end of New York City was due to the heat or it was due to my fitness level just kind of being met because I had never run that fast before. Like, I just don't know, right? Like, what do you think with all that?
I mean, think about any event. So if it's running, biking, swimming, if you gas it further than the tank allows, what happens at the end of that event? There's nothing
Yeah.
left. And so I think partly it's the heat. Yes, that's going to jack up heart rate more. But then two, just looking at we just have to have more time being able to sustain that fast of a pace in a sense.
Hmm.
With the up downs, with heart rate here to here between the different stations, into the runs, into the compromise run, like just more time on the pond, like more of the sport.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always one to say, do less high rocks, do less high rocks, do less high rocks. But there is a point of it that like high rocks itself, like the sport specificity of it, it's compromise running. You
Yeah.
do have to train that. Like it's still part of it. Does that mean you do a high rock sim every week? No. But you take the pieces of that and you've got to teach your body how to work through that. You can get into all the geeky science and this, that, and the other, but at the end of the day, you really just have to do it and make sure that incrementally it can get better. Have progression set up with it. And I think that's a big part of the sport itself. I think
Yeah.
we just have to have more. It's more time of being able to do something. It doesn't mean that every single. Well, Austin, if one's good, then isn't six better? No, because there's a limit to what we can actually recover from that as well. The bigger
Yeah.
your aerobic base, aka the better your progression season goes. The start of your off season, aka the part where like people don't want to lean into that. Like a lot of people don't get where they want to go in the sport of HYROX, especially now because they don't want to go through the long, slow, boring aerobic work that really sets up the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of like the big thing is when I look at like my race in Phoenix, like I thought I executed as best I could in Phoenix. Like my
Yes, and remember too, your background. You don't come from an endurance background, so you've had to create the adaptation for speed. You've had to create adaptation for aerobic endurance. You've had to simultaneously all of these, which thankfully we understand conjugate system and concurrent training. We're able to do that and
Mhm.
periodize things. More of this and more of this throughout the season, but everything that we're still looking for progression in throughout the year.
Absolutely.
Phoenix race,
So,
great, yes,
but that my point there with the Phoenix race was that I ran, I think my average kilometer pace in Phoenix was like a 402. So it was like 15 seconds slower.
yeah.
Obviously, I know that the race formats are different, the rock zone sizes are different, like how far the run is. I get all that. But I feel
NYC was
like
a longer course based on
yes.
everything y'all saw watching it and tracking it.
And then yeah, exactly. And then you take into effect, like when I was in Phoenix, I did 59 unbroken wall balls where like when I got to the wall ball station in NYC, like I did, I think 15 and like, I was like shaking, like my nervous, like my body was shaking
Shot.
doing wall balls. So it's like, there's that, like, where's that fine line? Like, but all that to say,
There's a
we can go
trade
around in
off.
circles on that forever. But I mean, for me looking at it, where I'm very type A, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think I really need to understand what these next few months look like. I think we really need to like line it out. Like, what are the metrics we want to, like, where are we doing this? Like, what does each week look like? Strength sessions per week, threshold sessions per week, whether it be a run, whether it be on ergs. Is there a deload week where it's less running and more ergs? Like, what does that look like? Like I told you, I got my gym owner to
GHD.
a GHD. We talked about that. I need that. I think that's, you and I know it. Like I feel my best when I've got the GHD or a 45-degree back extension. We can do so many things with that when it comes to low back support with like bands, weights.
Oh yeah.
We can maybe do like a separate episode on special exercises that actually help us, especially in the sport of HYROX. But there's that. I'm looking into maybe trying to find a way to do a concept 2 bike, because I have no way of monitoring my watts, my cadence, because the bike that I have here at the apartment gym is just
It's
a
just a
simple
bike.
spin bike. Yeah.
There-
So there's little things that we need to work on, like aerobic capacity. I'm just gonna have to be on doing more aerobic work. Maybe it's like a brick workout where we go straight from a bike to a run, or a run to a bike, or vice versa, right? Like I think we really need to maybe fine tooth comb it, and I think I would feel really, really good if we're able to like kind of put it on paper, saying, hey, this is what we're doing, this is the plan, let's just exit. And then obviously you'll fill in the blanks as we go with the actual, you know, meat and potatoes of it, but at least the outline is there, right? At least we have something to kind of go off of, and let's say, hey, all right, this is the build, let's follow it, let's trust it, because DC is not going to be an A race, it's going to be a workout. So like, it's going to be a quality session. Like I'm not trying to set the world on fire in DC. I'm just there to test my fitness at that point. Boston will be in October, will be like 6 weeks after the fact. So that'll be an A race. And then Anaheim, I think, will be about 6 to 8 weeks after that as well. So that'll be another A race. And then we'll not deload, but we won't peak again till probably springtime sometime. Like I probably won't. Like if the race ends up being in January in Phoenix again at the end of January, I probably won't treat that as an A race. It'll be a good workout race. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Uh,
all that being said, go ahead.
I think it opens into a big segue. I think, a lot of people sit there and they wonder, like, what am I supposed to do different training? What am I supposed to eat? What am I supposed to, like, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And so I just recently went to Biloxi for my brother-in-law's bachelor trip. And if you don't know Biloxi, it's a coastal town in Mississippi. You're sitting on the beach, everything else. Like, I was so enamored by how well I recovered. I had a little bit of alcohol with everybody there too, and did the thing, but I ran off of less sleep than usual, and somehow I'm hitting PRs on recovery like never before. Still sharing a bed, like it's like, well, Austin, you have a baby and you sleep with the baby, like still shared bed with a buddy there, so that wasn't. I still had somebody in bed. That
Yeah.
wasn't different. Um, all this to say, I think environment is the first piece before training, before nutrition, before any of this, that, the other. So this is a fun one that I'm going to mention to you, and how this comes to fruition, I have no clue yet. I'm still battling with this in my head, but if that is really the case, an environment sets a gigantic tone for everything. What I would actually love to see after this, so multi-year planning, I need to caveat that for people. When we look at Gabe and we look at this, how can we do this over time? We're not looking just this season. We want to be here. What do we need to do to here? And what do we need to do here? And what do we need to do here? So year zero was just, hey, do you like the sport? We're not trying to do 20 hours of training volume and this, that, and the other. We're literally just like, do you like this stuff? Do enough that you want to keep doing it. Cool. And you see progression come from that. It's just like in sport early on, if you're playing baseball, like you go hit off a tee before you go to coach pitch. Like there's different steps and progressions throughout from A to Z. Cool, that part gets taken care of. Now we get more into the intermediate side. So it's no more just here and beginner and amateur. Cool, we're starting to level up. We get intermediate. And that's what I'd call this year. It's a big progression alongside that. And now we're continuing into what I would call intermediate advanced. And then when we get to advanced, then we get to elite. Like there's levels and caveats throughout it. You have to, if you look at the top, they can just handle more volume. They just can't. Doesn't mean that they're all training 20-hour weeks, but at some point in their life, they push. They really had a season of doing that, and there's a lot of give and take in that. There's some good things and there's some bad things, because then we also have to caveat that you're married. we have business. There's so many other things that go on in that. It's not just athlete.
Right.
And so there's a balance to it. And for me, what I think with this season, fall, great. I'm going to come back to it. But spring, what I would really like to see is trying to get down to Ensenada, get a visa, stay there, blah, 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 do that with Kinley and actually have people be able to come in, including you coming down and staying for like a month at a time when it's like, hey, here's the big race. We're going to come in for 4 weeks. We're going to go back home for a week, recover. Now we're going to go off to the race. Like, can I take that environment and really supercharge somebody because of the water, because transdermal magnesium absorption off the ocean? And it's like there's so many pieces, key points that could be utilized that I really think that's the next step of like people aren't asking. Like
Yeah.
that's the next part because eventually, like let's think Hunter in Colorado. Like there's you can use environments to advantage. Like awesome, why not take everybody up to elevation? It's not the thing that jives for me. So if somebody's coming down and it's like, cool, I want to make sure it's something that I enjoy because if I'm enjoying that, that reverberates out. That person gets to take this and feel that as well, which then only enhances those. Environment, I think, is a key factor going from intermediate advanced to like pro elite. Like I truly believe that. We're not there yet. We're intermediate advanced is where we're heading to at this season. So what does that look like? Let's get into it. Very first thing we talked about, this block is all about running. We're not a background of a track athlete. We're background baseball players. So we've got at some point be a runner. Like we've done that over time. And one of the cool things I want to put on the books is another half marathon. I think you can go out and destroy one this time around, which is only going to make you feel that much more confident in your preparation. It gives you a real goal to go after whenever we're in the middle of running. It's like, I'm just running to run. No, we're running for a reason. Oh, cool. Here's our half marathon on the calendar. I like a half. It's not, you don't get, I think marathon, you give up so much because the volume is just so high. I mean, even run volume wise, like I don't like 50-mile weeks for people. I don't even like 40. I mean, for HYROX, I'm looking like 20 to 35 max, like max 35. But Austin, you got to run to get better. I know, but you only need to run an optimal amount. More isn't better. Better is better. And so what does that look like for each person? For yours, I think right now, setting that up into 3 different days where we run. Just like somebody who's really a runner, we have an interval day, we have a tempo day, and we have a long run day. If the body gets beat up, cool, we pull out tempo and we sub in an easy run that week. How do we know? We keep the check-in. We always keep in touch. We know what that looks like when your body's getting beat up and you're not there. We talked about coming into the start of the season. Like this week is a rough training volume week. Next week will be rough, and next week will be rough. We know that if we go through these first 3 weeks, though, the body and the physiology will start to adapt to that. Cool. Week 4, we're going to pull back. We're going to get really refreshed and ready to go. It's just 3 weeks of like, I got to stick in it, got to stick in it, got to stick in it. And we make sure that we don't get hurt during that time. We don't push it so far that the body breaks down, aka we don't go run 60 miles. We do enough to get better. And, we put in KPIs throughout this that we're looking at early on the start of this off season. We have things like our 2-mile run test. We have things like 5-mile run. We have things like a 400-meter run. These like for us, we're using a 60-minute echo bike. We have our tests in that we want to be able to see. Like the 60-minute echo bike is really a way for me to see LT2. That's what I'm trying to look at with that one. Awesome. Why that? Why not run? Because I'm already getting it off a run. I need to know, is it technical based off a run, like a skill, or is it the system itself isn't keeping up? Which one is it? That gives you an idea to be able to compare that. And otherwise, the 5-mile run for us was really just, if you think about that, that's just tempo threshold work the whole time.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Like that's all
Yeah.
it is. And I know if we break speeds on 400s, 200s, even doing hundreds, like we've done some top speed work in the past going into races. I would love to see a little bit more of that throughout the year because at some point to get faster, what do you have to do?
Gotta
Run
run
fast.
fast.
And I think people are like, I'm just going to go put on miles. And like, I think that's such an amateur approach. If you get to a far enough level and you look at the sport, they're doing everything. They're lifting, they're doing speed work. They're doing like for an 800, they're doing hundreds. Yeah. I guarantee you find guys doing hundreds, 50s, and even 20s to be able to get faster for their 800s, depending on the programs and the philosophies and stuff like that. I like that. The less I do from that, the more I can do with everything else. Everything has a balance. If you do too much here, you limit stuff here. Too much here, limit stuff here. How do you know how much of each? I think a lot of that comes down to athlete and coach being able to have a relationship of being able to like see and observe these things.
Mm-hmm.
If the speed's not there, cool, maybe you need to lean into that. Is it because you're not strong enough for MSF, mass specific force? Is it a skill component? Is it a breakdown of tissue? Like, what's going on that's actually making this there? Okay, set up the program to go fix that. But generally, for yours right now in this part of the year, we're just being a better runner.
Mm-hmm.
We know that that's 50% of the sport in HYROX. You gotta be a good runner. Like, it's just part of it.
Yeah. And I was doing the math this morning. I think,
And we became a better runner.
yeah, we did. Like, and that was
But we
even
still have a little bit more of it too.
exactly. And like this week, I think I'm going to be like almost at 25 miles. I think by the time it's all said and done, it'll be like pretty close, somewhere between 21 and 25. Um, and that's pretty good. You know, like you said, like I think top end should probably be 40 for me right now. And then if there is a call to be able to do more at some point in the future, I don't think it's maybe this year. I think it's like, you know, maybe when you get to elite or you start identifying certain deficiencies that you need to address. But like right now, like, and that's the other thing, like, you know, I was thinking about is we're not doing less strength training. We're just going to like it's running. That's what I need to do better. So we're doing 2 strength training sessions a week, right? Like that's the goal. Okay, yeah. 2 strength training sessions. We have an interval, a tempo, a long run day. And then the other thing that we need to figure out is like the easy days, yes, like the mitochondrial density. How do you build it? Aerobic work. You hop on a bike, or you're on the rower, you're on the ski erg, and you're just getting zone 2 work in that builds your aerobic capacity so that the other things can accompany it, right?
When you do the easy zone 2 work, you're essentially creating a bigger base of recoverability. The more you can take on of that, the higher the recovery. There is a caveat to that, though. People are like, okay, so I just need to do 20 hours of zone 1, zone 2 work. It's still a stress. There's still an optimal amount to it. Over time, you can bring it up, yes, but there's a point where there's going to be a big diminishing return on it. You need enough to get better from it, not so much that it takes away.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of like the cool part too this week is
It's
even
not the same as rest. Like, I think I used to think zone 1, zone 2, it's rest. Like, yeah, yes and no.
Mhm. Well, and like this week we went from I mean, this is a big training week straight up. Like I think I'm going to have like 12 hours pretty much pretty close by the time I'm done with it. And like the 3 weeks prior, like last week was probably, I think 5 hours. The week before that was probably 6 hours. The week before that was race week. And that was probably 7 hours, maybe like less.
Yeah.
So we went from build phase, which is basic to super down, and then boom, we went right back up to 12 hours. But that was something we were talking about really quickly on the call before we hopped on. Is like my legs have just been trashed all week, probably because of the 5 mile run that we started the week with, and I was running into the wind with like logs. I felt like I was running with like bricks on as legs, and like it just like totally fried me the rest of the week. So, uh, you know, I say all that because it just it takes time to be able to do that. Like you don't, I don't sit on a bike for 20 hours a week because if I could, then I'd still like, would I be able to adapt? My point is my HRV all week, Austin, I've been in the green every day except when I woke up on Monday from Sunday. And I've been in the green even after all these days. I haven't had one yellow. So I don't know what to attribute that to. My HRV has been good. My sleep's been solid. And the training stress, I think my average strain on the Whoop was like a 13.1 this week, which isn't terribly high. It's not terribly low, but it's enough. It's enough stress.
I'm shocked you're not 16, 17.
I know. What does that mean?
I think physiology wise, you were so refreshed and recovered coming in this week that we have a minute to really push on the gas. It
Mm-hmm.
just means probably the end of week 2, the beginning of week 3, it's going to start to, But that's also why we're going to bring up food there over the next 2 weeks as well. Like, we just want to stay on top of it and make sure we have enough to keep in at rhythm for those 3 weeks. Week
Yeah.
4, if we're super inflamed and we know, like, hey, we need to pull it back. Week 4 is a time where we can use anything from a little fast to fruit forward diets to high mineral density with seafood. Like, we have so many options at that week if needed to be able to pull the body kind of out of the stressor. because we're going to eat a lot. We're going to train a lot. Well, both of those require work. When you don't eat and when you don't train as much, that's rest. You got to have both.
Yeah. They go hand in hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's what I wanted to talk about. It sounds like we've got a plan of action. Just to kind of recap it real quick. Better runner. That's what I'm gonna do. So like just say again, an interval, a tempo, a long run. Let's identify where my deficiencies are that help. Hey, if we have to drop a certain run to get better at something else, then we will. 2 strength training sessions per week, which will be like full body both days, right? Pretty much.
We'll rotate between like repetition effort, dynamic effort, max effort all throughout. You've notoriously responded better in the past, like BMT, brief maximal tension. It's basically doing max effort, but doing more of it. Doubles, triples, fives, like heavy reps in those ranges. I've seen as I look back, you respond really well to that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we don't see as big of a strength response to just singles. And I think that's partly due to sport and stuff like that. I still like singles whenever you're in really big pushes, but if we're in a build phase, like right now, like yes, we have aerobic and running adaptations going on, but at the same time, like I'm willing to fuel that and bet on the other side of it that we can also handle the shrink volume with it too.
Yeah.
If you don't do as heavy, you can do more volume. I want to use volume at the start of the year. So, 5x5 versus a 3 sets of 1, like just a big different, it's giant difference when it comes to stimulus wise. If somebody's doing a lot of aerobic work and they don't do any heavy strength stuff, see you to the hormones. We want to keep the hormones in check too to keep that thing
Yeah.
dry.
That makes sense. Okay. Well, cool. Well, that's what I got. This again, like I said early on, this is just kind of like an episode that's a little different. We just wanted to like talk through like what the plan is, making sure that I'm on the same page with it, that that we're working towards the same goal, and that we understand that, like you said, it's a multi-year thing. Year 1 was like, hey, do I enjoy the sport? Hey, I do. Year 2, intermediate, like we made some huge strides this year, and that's incredible. So now what's the next step? Okay, we got that, and then we'll identify the next ones, but the end is in mind, right? We do have the
I,
end in mind.
I think too with that, one thing that I should say, like I want to credit you a lot on this is asking yourself what you want from the sport. Like, what do you really want from this? What's the goal? Okay, I'm going to do that. I see a lot of people that are like, I want this, but they also want this or this or this. And because of that, they get none of them. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
do I want to go to Worlds? Do I want to have fun? Both? That's great, but which one's your primary? One of them is going to have to be more dominant with that because not every session to get ready for Worlds is going to be fun. Not every day are you going to want to train when you're getting ready for Worlds. Generally speaking, most of the time you should, and that's where the nutrition and those things come into play. But there's also a time and a place where it's like you're just fatigued. Like it just is. Like you hit Thursday this week, and I imagine you were fatigued as can be.
Yeah, I was fatigued as can be. I think like my legs were fried,
That's
and
probably not fun. You're probably like, wow, I'm having so much fun. It's like, no, my body is really sore.
yeah. I had to gaslight myself a couple times in how I was feeling for sure.
Oh, you're great today, man. You're feeling great. This is awesome. And you force the smile. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like in the middle of the hardest interval and you're like, oh, yeah, just smile and make it better.
Oh, I mean, just for insight, like yesterday, I was telling Austin before we hopped on the call, my legs on Wednesday were freaking just bad. And I looked at my Thursday workout and I had 5 rounds of of this like circuit. And in the middle of it, there was 40 unbroken wall balls with a 30-pound ball. And I was like, I don't know how and that was after heavy sled pushes earlier in that workout. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I was like, because I feel horrible. And then you get to doing it, it starts getting a little bit better, a little bit better. And then obviously you get into the reps of it. And obviously the last 15 really hurt, but you realize that you can do it. It's just, you just got to keep going.
I don't think that felt good at all. Like, I almost put that at 30 instead of 40. And I was like, no, this is where we're going this year. This is what we need. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dan was in the back of my head telling me that. Blame that on him.
I will. Dan, if you're listening to this, I hope you don't find your Swedish wife after all.
Sorry,
uh,
Dan. Sorry.
yeah. That's it. Do you have anything else before we wrap this up?
No, that's perfect, man. That's I just think that, you know, encourage people to coming into the next season with World Tier, like really ask yourself, what do you want from this sport? Because it'll give you anything you want, but you have to be clear on what you want from it. You have not because you ask not. You have to clearly identify what it is. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open. Like you have to say what it is you want, though. Unclear ask, get unclear answers.
Unclear ask, unclear answers. I like that. I like that. Cool. All right. Well, I'll wrap that up right here. Thank you guys for listening. Check us out on Instagram, and yeah, we'll see you later. Peace.
Peace.